and I'm sitting here today in the beautiful gardens at Timeless Tanglewood with Fred Levin. Welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's very seldom that actually I get back to my home here on the bio, but you did such a fabulous job with the gardens.
Thank you. When we first started talking about Tanglewood Gardens, we didn't anticipate that it would be so beautiful. I knew that whatever we created would be grand, but I don't think either of us expected the response from the magnitude of these gardens. Are you glad that we proceeded and kept going with the style and size of the gardens?
Oh, sure, and it's just growing more and more each day as the plants bloom. I know the camellias are starting. Just the whole thing is just incredible.
I know that my favorite time here in the garden is pretty much year-round because there's always something blooming here. And when guests walk in, you know, we see it all the time, or when you're able to come back and see it, but when guests first see it, they are awestruck. Would you agree?
Oh, sure. I mean, the number of events we've had here, and the people have just absolutely been amazed. I mean, they've said things like, I've never seen gardens like this, certainly not in Pensacola.
No, I think this is a first for Pensacola and quite possibly even further out. I remember the opera event. It was spectacular. The orchestra playing from the balcony, the costumed performers. The garden was a perfect setting for that event.
Yes, that was an opening night here that was unbelievable.
The gardens are themed. We have the Irving Berlin garden. We've got the terracing of the back gardens. There's a different perspective and a different scene from every garden. And like we said earlier, there's always something in bloom.
Yeah, the herb garden is what has shocked me, because I never had any idea that that they were going to plant tomatoes and cucumbers and everything. In fact, last night I had a fabulous tomato from the gardens here, but it's just incredible.
The great thing about that organic herb garden is that we don't use any synthetic fertilizers, no pesticides, no insecticides, so you're eating the real deal. It's organic and it's healthy for you.
Well, no, it was outstanding, and it is outstanding, and I understand that year-round there will be different things that are growing in those gardens.
When we first started talking about the gardens at Timeless Tanglewood, we knew it would be an event place for you to host and have great, wonderful parties. One of the issues that we had to deal with was we were going to have guests arrive by both water and by car, so there would be two entrances. Originally, we'd only talked about landscaping the back, and it was just going to be a walkway down to make it easier. How do you think things progressed to get us to this point?
It's been unbelievable. I mean, even when you look at the guests that come by water and those gates, and just the place is incredible. I mean, in bloom, the colors, the greenery, just everything has been just spectacular. You've done an incredible job, and I really appreciated it.
Well, thank you. One of my concerns when we had guests arriving by water was to make certain that it was an easy ingress and egress. There was a slope in the yard, and we also had some drainage issues to deal with. So what we did is we created the step system. Do you think you like that better than have a sloped walkway all the way down to the water?
Oh yes, and they have to see it. The audience really has to see it to realize how beautiful it is and how aesthetic. The whole thing is just, when you look at the total gardens, and I have no idea whether it's an acre or whatever, but it is absolutely incredible.
One of the issues, we wanted to make certain that the maintenance of the project after it was installed was relatively easy. And it would surprise most people to know that we only spend a few hours every week with a crew of men. Some people think we have to have 5 men 40 hours a week. One of the requirements was to make sure that it was easy to take care of, but it was pretty.
I mean, you put together a real team to make this what it is.
I'm amazed also. I'm around landscaping all the time, and you gave me this huge opportunity to be able to develop this gorgeous garden. Fred, what's your favorite garden here at Timeless Tanglewood?
Well, clearly it's the camellia garden. You know, my wife passed away, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago, and she loved the camellias. So when I suggested that we do something, you came up with the idea, and then you went to the Pensacola Camellia Club, which is one of the outstanding camellia clubs in the country, I understand. And now they developed a camellia in Maryland, my wife's name, and so that far and away is my favorite part of this total garden, and it's an easy thing to sit there and appreciate with the water fountain and the chairs. It just and like I say, far and away, it's my favorite part of this total design that you did.
I would absolutely have to agree with you. The Maryland Levin Camellia Preservation Garden is, to me, the greatest aspect of this entire garden. You're greeted by these two beautiful columns with Tennessee flagstone, and then you walk up through cut stones. Everything is so detailed. I spent so much time designing the detail. And then you hear the faint sound of waterfalls through the pondless water feature, the beautiful patinaed angels as you continue to walk through the garden. The garden contains over 40 award-winning camellias. And you're right, Pensacola Camellia Club definitely helped us take care of this project with Colonel Dick Hooten and John Davy naming the Maryland Camellia, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
And of course, Roger Vinson was the president of the National Camellia Society. So we've got a lot of history here in Pensacola in regard to camellias, and a lot of awards that have come to this club and to the members of the club.
Well, I am so pleased with the Maryland Levin Camellia Preservation Garden. I'm pleased with the entire process, and I can't thank you enough for allowing me to design this garden for you.
Thank you.